Hey guys, we are a couple days late on our Bachelor breakdown because we had the national championship football game, but better late than never. Welcome to the Love is Stupid podcast preview. I'm your host, Rae Solomon, here with my husband and co-host, Jake Green.
Hey everyone.
And our resident Nashville Bachelor, Dustin Summers.
Hello.
Okay, so...
You're so subtle.
I know. Okay, so the recap of The Bachelor, there's a lot to cover. We have Peter and Hanabi, which is where it came back on this episode. We've got the Revolve runway show, and we have Champagne Gate. So let's just dive right in.
So much drama.
I know. So Joe Burrow's slow start in the first quarter was really indicative that there's going to be a problem for LSU, but you know.
You are such a nerd.
Wrong podcast. You tried.
I tried.
So close.
Good game though.
LSU won, right?
LSU won.
I didn't get to watch
Go
it.
Tiger.
Really?
Yeah, man. Well, no, I mean, that's what they say. They say
Oh.
I don't really care.
So are you an LSU fan?
No, don't think.
Fair enough.
Hard pass. Anyway, back to The Bachelor.
I mean,
Still can't believe this is a
honestly-
damn television show in 2020. Can't believe this is the thing.
There was so much drama on this one. It was actually just kind of stressing me out a little bit. I'm like, I like it when they balance some of the drama with some of the like actual love connection, and there seemed to be like no love connection. It was just straight up drama this episode. I could not handle.
There was a lot.
Because it started on a sour note. It started where the last one ended.
It really did. Yeah, it was
True.
drug out. Okay, so what do we think about this Peter and Hanabi debacle and how it like ended in?
Look,
this
I called
episode?
it at the beginning before we even had The Bachelor air. That I don't like Hannah, and she just validated that throughout all of episode 1.
So
Kicked
true.
off episode 2 on a sour note. It was disappointing that an entire date with these girls was ruined. You could see that these women were distraught. They were pissed. Some of them were outright vicious about it. But the fact that he couldn't bring it around and just gather his thoughts and his emotions and be like, all right, I'm here for these women. Let's finish this date.
I mean, he was her fourth choice, and he's now the Bachelor. Like, why don't you just take advantage of being the Bachelor and like enjoy this experience and not let her fame harness just ruin it all?
So you were explaining this a little bit to me. Pilot Peter, was not the runner-up for
No,
Hannah.
he was fourth.
And so
It was a
now,
close fourth.
has both fourth place
And then
finishes
second and third were taken, and so we're going sloppy
But I
fourths.
mean,
What's
what she's doing, look, she dumped him, right? For lack of a better word. Because
Yeah.
I mean, cut, dumped, kicked him off the show during his season. So she dumped him. She
Right.
still does not want him.
Yeah.
She just wants to make sure that he hasn't quite moved on yet.
I think that that's the thing. I think that like she had a lot of the attention on her, and now she's realizing that she's not with anyone at this point, and that Peter's getting a lot of attention, and that he's kind of like this fan favorite now, and she maybe is regretting her decision. But I don't think it's actually because she cares about him. I think it's because it's like the fanfare of it all, of like he's got the hype at the moment.
the fear of missing out.
Yeah, totally.
Chump move. That's a chump move.
I completely
It
agree.
was.
It was, and as soon as he offered to let her come back on the show, you could tell that she was full of shit because she didn't come back on the show. She just wanted to be like, don't forget about me.
Yeah, keeping him at arm's length. You know what? Good for him for not making out with her. Because you could tell that was where that
Did he
chemistry
not
was
make
starting to go. They didn't kiss.
Well, here's where I think they might have, because she had mascara all over her face, and there was a camera in like the room where they were at, and then all of a sudden we were just getting glimpses of like through the door, and the mascara was gone. So I'm pretty sure they might have like cut away and
Cleaned her up a bit. That's fair.
I think there might have been a kiss.
That's some forensic investigation.
No
going on
kidding.
there.
Producers are good at their
Well done.
job. All right, well, moving on, because I can't talk about. I can't.
Please,
go over
let's
anymore.
move on.
Yeah. All right. So can I like jump a little bit ahead and give my segment, because I feel like it leads into the next one? 'Cause
This is your oh shit moment of the night.
my oh shit moment of the night.
All right.
My oh shit moment of the night was watching Victoria just come into her own and be freaking fierce
That was
at
awesome.
that fashion show. Like, way to go, girl. When she pulled that trench coat off, I was like, whoo, yes. It was just nice watching her like get that bit of confidence, you know?
Yeah, she was owning it.
She totally
it
was.
started off like every other Bachelor episode where somebody's not comfortable, they overplay and get all dramatic and they walk off set and they're crying, all that kind of stuff. I thought that's what we were going to get from her. And then she owned it. She put on the lingerie, she walked the runway, she got second. What was disappointing for me, though, was after she got second, she fell apart again and started to doubt herself. There's a lot of self-doubt and unworthiness happening there.
Good job, Victoria. Still my second favorite Victoria on the show, though. Great job, though.
She's beautiful. And girl, if you're watching this, like even if you got second, who cares? You freaking rocked it, and that should be a huge confidence boost.
Agreed.
All right, Champagne Gate.
Let's talk about this. So mine is overplaying your cards. Right.
Overplaying your hand. The Jake Green
overplaying your hand moment. This is like the beef jerky, Jack Link's beef jerky moment of The Bachelor.
Shouts out Jack Link's beef jerky.
That was a poker reference for anybody that knows World Series of Poker. So she set up this great date, good intentions, had the dom laid out for anybody that missed it. And then went back to the couch to start talking to the girls about this incredible thing that she was going to do for him. She's been holding on to the champagne, and it was going to be this amazing moment that he was going to have with her. Somebody else, she who will not be named because I've already stated my opinion about Hannah. Oh, wait, I dropped her name.
I think it's Hannah Ann, by the way. Also, her parents
totally
totally messed up.
It's not going to last very long.
Anyways,
it's not going to last very long.
Keep going.
So she pops the champagne. And Kelsey gets all distraught and loses her shit. Like outright loses her mind, calls Hannah a B, and all these kinds of things. And then for the entirety of that episode, could not get that off of her mind. She kept returning to it and was overplaying her cards because she kept bringing it up with Peter.
I mean, I think...
So who overplayed their hand? Hannah was overplayed?
Kelsey did.
Kelsey overplayed. Okay.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I think... I've heard a lot of people saying, like, I don't understand why she was so upset. I get it. Like, we collect bourbon, and we've got specific bottles of bourbon that we have saved for special occasions that we're like, when this happens, we've got bourbon kindness. When this happens, we're going to open this bottle of bourbon. When this happens, we're going to open this bottle of bourbon. And if somebody came in and opened one of my bottles of bourbon that I was saving for a special occasion, I'd be pissed. I just think she didn't need to be so aggressive about it. Like, it's easy enough just to be like, hey, that was messed up. That was mine. It really hurt my feelings. Communicate. You just walk up and say what happened. Like, I really don't think that Hannah knew that it was her bottle. I don't think she was being malicious.
Yeah. I don't think she was either.
You can't leave a bottle of champagne out in the Bachelor Mansion and not expect somebody to walk by and be like, oh, champagne.
They pump them full of alcohol.
Rule number one of the Bachelor Mansion, don't leave your champagne.
Apparently, yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Don't leave your drink around me or to get
But
drunk.
I wouldn't have thought twice about it because to Hannah's point, Hannah Ann, whatever her name is, to her point, there was champagne wine all over the place. And she just happened to open the wrong one. They give them so much alcohol.
She thought it was Andre, just cheap Andre champagne.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
That's what she thought it was, though. That's what she thought it was.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess they need people like that.
And I'll jump right into my special segment too, since we're knocking these out. So we're doing this is the Dustin Summers Our Roll moment of the night. There were two strong candidates. I'm going to go ahead and mention both of them. They were present in the first episode. They were present in the second episode, both of these. Okay. I'm hoping that they're gone for good, but I'm going to go ahead and knock one of them out, especially. So my two candidates were, one was the, I'll go ahead and tell you. The winner for this week was the dorky dance moves with McKenna. You saw some of Peter's dorky dance moves during some of the introductions in episode 1. That almost won it in the episode 1 of the Our Roll moment, but tonight, it's getting the eye roll moment of the month.
The dancing?
Because the second one, and I hope this is not on there, is Peter's pick up and make out move. That when he picks the girls up and puts them on shit.
It's a really clear move. Very clear after 2 episodes that's his
go-to. It's his go-to.
For sure.
I have a feeling that I'll have a feeling
that's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is. as a girl, I really love that move, but not after I see that he's doing it to a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, then I'd get a little frustrated.
So
yeah, I'm like, oh, so that wasn't like just an in the moment feeling thing. Like it was just.
It's the clubhouse leader for week 3, but this week.
So Dustin Summers, our resident Nashville Bachelor, what's your go-to move?
Not that.
Not that. What is it? We're gonna get it out of him. We're gonna find out eventually.
We'll figure it out.
He has one, you can tell, because he's
God.
not saying I don't know.
I know.
Oh, what is it?
There's some friends with
Who stayed at your house one time?
Did stay. Be more specific. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
The Lumineers?
I do have specific go-to stories that I have, but it's not a go-to move.
No?
So no, what's your go-to move?
That's my go-to move. We've already referenced our fun special friend of the pod, Greg Walker, and also Greg Walker's not involved in my go-to move in any shape, form, or fashion.
That's a good clarification.
Worst wingman ever is Greg Walker.
Speaking of dance moves.
But he's heard this.
That is Greg Walker's go-to dance move.
I don't have the go-to move anymore, but this used to be the go-to.
What is it?
The go-to move used to be in a crowded place, make sure you have 2 drinks in your hand, and have to like move somewhere to go somewhere, and it was the ab scrape. It was the bump someone's.
Wait, oh my god! So wait, was one of these drinks for the girl?
No. You're just
oops.
Nope.
Both of these are for me.
You're just taking.
My 6-pack.
You're just moving along, do the ab scrape, and then come back and.
The ab scrape. I've
This
never
is-
heard that before.
2008.
If this is a signature move, this must work.
2008 was a
must
great
have
year for
worked.
the ab scrape.
2000. This is an
Now we
old
know.
one though. When did you retire the ab scrape?
He hasn't retired it.
Wow.
We'll let you know.
Okay. Good to know.
Oh my god.
What else?
All right.
I don't go to crowded places anymore. That's the main thing. We talk about mine here. I don't like avoidance of crowded places.
No, fair enough. All right, so
They call that agoraphobia.
this is a little preview of what you're going to have to look forward to on the Love is Stupid podcast, which is premiering on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2020. We are very excited. You guys are going to get 3 episodes on that day, and we are following Dustin on dates. We're talking about the different ways he's meeting these girls, the good, the bad, and the ugly of all of those dates, and then we usually end the podcast with talking about a segment that correlates somehow to his date. So we are going to give you a little preview of what that would look like here. And
You don't think the ab scrape thing was enough for the viewers tonight?
I mean, we really should have just dropped the mic and walked away on that note. Babe, what's
It's
your
more of a lift
signature
the
move?
shirt. Mine's rock, paper, scissors.
That's not a move.
It sure is.
It's a story. That's a story.
I got you, didn't I?
The story was fascinating and it totally worked. I bought it hook, line,
It's
and
as
sinker, but it's not a
fascinating
move.
as a rock, paper, scissors story could ever be.
Honestly, though, that was
it's
not his
pretty
first
good.
story. He talked about a story about like the cat with the arm thing,
Oh.
and I
amazing.
did not remember the story.
I can't remember the left or the right, but one is about
Do you know this thing?
prosperity in business.
I didn't
The
either.
other
He
is
lost me.
networking and relationships. And so the swinging cat that does this, depending on which arm is swinging, that is to bring you good fortune in one of those 2 areas.
That's
You
what
definitely
did the
have
trick, Ray. That's what.
No, it did. I totally forgot about it. He was like, "This is our first conversation." I was like, I blocked that out.
Yeah, she did.
I
It didn't go
totally
anywhere.
did.
I had to pull out, I had to dust off the rock, paper, scissors.
Jake is a rock, paper, scissors champion. So we will get into that story in a later podcast
Season
and give
2.
you a little bit more.
Season 2, it's all about rock, paper, scissors.
And talk about
Methodology
this
behind the
whole
madness.
thing. But so to tie back into The Bachelor, one of the things that Peter's done a lot is given gifts. He gave Madison a picture from their date with his like parents' vow renewal, and then he gave Lexi that little like Corvette.
That was a good move.
Yeah, honestly, it was a little weird because he pretended like he didn't remember her.
That was a little awkward. I think Lexi was offended because at one point
Will you be
he
bummed?
almost acted like he forgot that she was the one that did the Corvette. And then he pulled out the Corvette out of his pocket. It was a good move.
I wonder if he like was being sarcastic or if he just didn't
know.
realize that that's who it was.
I'm not sure.
Well, that first night, he forgot the story of the girl who told the god awful opening line thing about the. Do you remember her dry sense of humor? Remember that whole thing? And then she had to repeat her joke to him later on in the night.
Oh yeah, that was not good. Not great. Who was that? I don't even remember.
She left on the light one.
All right, so our
rightfully so.
Yeah, clearly.
Rightful through these. But can we talk about the whole Madison picture? Like, what a great move! Because that's their first date. So already they had a great date. It was related to his family. She got to meet the family. She got to witness them renewing the vows. That was awesome. And then he comes back day 2 and gives her a picture of them with his family.
Which I don't think that you would take somebody on that date with your family unless you kind of thought it was going somewhere, and then to give her a picture. It's
Madison's number 1. We all know this.
Well, whatever. All right, so the segment tying into The Bachelor is love languages. 5 love languages, if anybody has read this book before. But the love languages are time, touch, gifts, words of affirmation, and acts of service. So clearly Peter likes gifts, or at least to give gifts.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because I don't know that I've ever seen a Bachelor contestant really like give.
They're usually getting the gifts.
Yeah, they're usually getting the gifts. I like that.
Spin on it all.
So Dustin, what's your love languages?
So I've actually read this book.
Okay.
I've actually read the love language book. I've done the surveys and stuff like that, so I know how they break down for me. So my number 1 love language is quality time.
Totally.
Whether it be 5 minutes or 5 days, if you can dedicate time to be focused on the other person, that's my favorite thing. The things that kind of came in second for me were the words of affirmation and acts of service. Those were number 1, 2, and 3. The other 2 kind of were secondary to me, but number 1, quality time.
So touch and gifts can kind of go by the wayside in your mind.
The physical touch stuff, which in my mind, that's all the hand holding and all the PDA type stuff. That's fine, but it's not really, does it for me.
Okay. Mine's acts of service. I mean, you know this. I'm always trying to do something to show my love, and I guess that reciprocation is nice.
Is that what you like to see as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you have any others, or is that, I mean, I know you do, but.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the whole time, touch kind of thing, just the proximity of it all. It doesn't have to be longevity. That's not what matters to me in terms of time that you're spending with someone. It's the quality time that you're getting with them. Are you having engaged conversations? Are you doing things that are exciting and fun and you're doing it together? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I am like sort of a weirdo and kind of drive in all lanes, to be honest with you. Like time, touch, gifts, words of affirmation are all like pretty up there. If I had to pick one, it would be quality time. But the rest of them are kind of all together. The interesting thing though is that acts of service really like never did anything for me at all. And it's been interesting being married to you and having that love language be a little bit different because I've really learned to appreciate that when like I'll be gone for the weekend or something and be like, hey honey, I like painted this room that you've wanted painted, and I'm like, oh, clearly he's only doing that for me because he loves me, because he would never paint a room by himself.
She's just like, cool.
Yeah.
Now she's like, oh he meant to be loving and endearing.
And so but anyways, I really have grown to like love that, and so I think understanding where your partner is coming from can be really helpful in those departments.
Absolutely. So where are we all standing with the 5 picks that we have?
We're all still alive.
Are we?
All the picks that we all picked in week 1 are all still alive. So we survived, I think there were 3 cuts this week. It didn't affect any of ours, and so we're all 3 still going. Now Jake likes to point out, or like Jake likes to think, that he is currently...
point out. This is not a thought. This is reality.
Because there's no ranking system in place yet as far as on the show.
This man is so competitive. We've been texting about this podcast and getting everything ready. He responded to none of the text messages except for to say that he was winning because Madison was.
Let's be clear.
Madison's killing it.
Let's be clear. Madison's having she's having a good game.
A good game?
She's doing great.
Her QBR rating is through the roof.
We all 3 put Madison on our top 5.
She's in my top 2.
Jake picked her to win it.
I think,
which doesn't mean
they didn't show my girl.
It does
this
when
episode.
you look at all the other girls. McKenna's crushing it. Lexi's crushing it.
They didn't even show. Kelly didn't even get a date this week. Kelly is my number 1, so you can't say that she's out of it. That's not true.
Kelly, you and I picked Kelly as one of 2 of our top 5.
Yeah.
You picked her to win it.
I did pick her to win.
I picked her to top 5.
It's between her and Madison.
Because
I think, was who I said.
Kelly and Peter definitely hooked up in that hotel in Chicago or wherever the hell it was. That happened.
Yeah, I think you're right.
They've got a lot of chemistry that seems too,
So
too deep for it to have just started.
I think it fizzles though.
But anyway, we'll get into more of our picks as people start getting eliminated. Just a reminder though, Rae picked Kelly to win it, Jake picked Madison to win it, and I picked Victoria P to win it. So all ladies are still alive. All of our top 5 picks are still active. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. So leave us comments. So we'd love to know where you agree or disagree, who your picks are, who you're voting for, who you think your front runners are. And make sure you go to @the Love is Stupid podcast on Instagram. Give us a follow there. Mark your calendars because February 14th, the podcast is premiering. Again, we're going to be following our Bachelor Dustin on his dates. We're going to be talking about the different dating apps in which he met the girls, how the dates went, and then we'll be talking about different segments as we go through. So
it's going to be fun.
There's some gory details. You got to stay tuned.
Gory details. We're nice. We're nice about it.
Not to him.
Well, you know. So, anyways, thanks for letting us be a couple days late on this, and we will be back on Monday for the real time live. So make sure you go to Instagram, and you can actually watch us do this live as we are recapping The Bachelor after the fact. So this is the Love is Stupid podcast. I am your host, Rae Solomon, with Jake Green and Dustin Summers, and we will see you guys soon.
See ya.
Bye.